Hey guys, back with a video here. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I was on vacation and just got back recently. The weather's been so crappy. We've had so much rain. I think it's the seventh rainiest spring ever recorded here, so that didn't help. But I had a request from a subscriber that wanted to see what my passion fruit setup is like. So here it is. I'll probably talk through, what I learned in growing this passion vine. It's gotten pretty big now. But yeah, so my current setup is I have these stakes here. See if it'll focus. That I got from your local, home improvement store. It's about 6 feet tall. I don't know, I would say like 1/2 inch or 3/8 or whatever, probably 1/2 inch diameter. And I just put them into the four corners of the pot here. You can see 1, and then 2, 3, and back here 4. And I kind of angled them outwards towards the top so that it's wider at the top. This way you have more area for the vine to grow. And then I also have cross members here, and I'm just using green twisty ties, also bought at your local home improvement store. You can buy them in a roll, like 100 feet or whatever, for a few bucks, which is kind of nice. So I just kind of braced it here, kind of 3/4 way up, and then braced it here at the top, a few inches down. The more bracing, I'm guessing it's probably going to be better, so you can have a more sturdy, cage. I kind of ran out of these. Well, and the material I used was these little bamboo sticks. You could use anything that's somewhat rigid. I ran out of these, that's why I don't have bracing at the bottom here, but it seems to be working out fine. You may also notice I have kind of like a smaller metal tomato cage in here. It was because I had this in a smaller pot, and I wasn't sure how big I was going to want it to get, so I had it with just this regular tomato cage in a smaller pot. And the pot was actually probably only like this big, so I managed to repot it, but it wasn't easy. So the first tip is to grow it in as big of a container as possible to begin with. Passion fruit vine really loves water, so too big of a container is not an issue. And then the other tip is when you make the top of your cage, you just got to make sure that the width of it is smaller than your door, which is anywhere between like 28 to 32 inches. I think my door is at 32 inches, and the top is about, less than that. It's about 30 inches, so it fits through the door just fine. So yeah, those are my 2 tips. I prune them back every year. Unless I have fruit, then I try to keep it on there as much as possible. Last year I had it growing on this deck railing here, and then I kind of unwound everything and wrapped it around this tomato cage and brought it in, because I had a lot of fruit that weren't ripe yet. So when I brought them in, they riped indoors, which was nice. Now I have my summer set up, and so right there it's going to start growing across this plastic poultry netting. So this is my summer setup. It's kind of like a pergola trellis thing. I bought a bunch of 2x4s that were 8 feet long. I cut 2 feet off of the uprights here, and then I used them for the angled bracing there. And then the top is just 4 8-foot long 2x4s screwed together. The only thing I did was just to make sure everything was square and straight with a level, and then I set those on top of some paver paver stones. Just get it up off the ground a little bit. It's only about 6 feet tall because I wanted to be able to easily get the vines off if I needed to, like I did last year to save the fruit. 6 feet I think is a pretty good height. You could probably make it lower if you wanted to. I plan on putting other plants underneath here, and that's why it's 6 feet tall, because most of my trees are under 6 feet. The only tree that's over 6 feet is my plumeria, so, and that won't be going underneath of here. I also thought about putting the passion fruit vine right in the middle there where it has that hole, so it can kind of spread in all 4 directions. But I felt like that would have been harder to take off and wrap around in the fall, so I just put it to one corner. So that's my setup. I'll try to get further away here so that you guys can kind of see the whole thing. Backyard's kind of a mess. I haven't had a chance to clean up or anything. I still need to bring all my plants out. I brought them out when I got back from vacation, but temperatures dropped back down to 34 degrees, so I had to bring them all back in. Too much rain was kind of an issue too, especially with all my citrus and their susceptibility to root rot, so it was imperative that I brought it back inside. So today I'll probably have all my plants back out, and maybe I'll do a video showing you guys all my plants. But that's my passion fruit setup. If I missed something, feel free to ask a question in the comment section, and I will answer it as soon as possible.